The Joe Rogan Experience.
Every time I go into Washington, D.C., every time I go into the Wegmans, there's a big Washington football team, Tostitos potato chips with the Washington football team name on there, and
the Redskins.
And
is that an offensive word? Like
that's an offensive word.
Me even saying that, like right there, is that offensive?
Yes. Not to everybody, but the majority of Native American groups, tribes, they've all let the team know that name is offensive, and they still won't change it. They don't. They say it's honoring Native Americans. That term is used, and you see it in historic records, to count Indian skins or scalps that have been taken from Indian people. It's an offensive. It's not just derogatory or demeaning, but it's.
And we should be really clear what you're saying when you're saying skins and scalps. We mean dead people.
Yeah. And sorry.
No worries. Listen, this is the number one reason why I wanted to have you here. I mean, I want it from your perspective, because for us, we get, that's an offensive word. I heard that's offensive. Mm-hmm. The majority of people are not talking to someone who's deeply ingrained in Native American issues and culture like you are. So you could explain to us that, it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, if it was, think of some derogatory term for someone somewhere. I mean, even if it was like kind of derogatory, like if they were called the Washington Krauts and it was all based on Germans, like a lot of German people would probably be really pissed off at that. Like, hey, that's kind of shitty. Like, why are you calling us that? But it's the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs, right? Like, what other Native American names? There's been a ton of them, right?
The Braves. There's a lot of Indians.
Are the Braves still around?
Yeah.
Yes, they still have that name. So, has anybody given in and changed their name?
Yes, there has, and there's been really a movement with high school, colleges, and I don't know the status of any, as far as NFL or national teams. Syracuse University had a derogatory mascot that they changed some years back because of the tribes there that are now in the state of New York fought for that.
What was that mascot?
I can't remember, but now they're some kind of like orange.
It's an orange? All right. It's super orange.
Yeah, but
that's not hurting anybody's feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Orange.
Same with like toroidal engines. There was a great engineer up in Lodi that was revisiting toroidals, and he had a Ford Focus that would do is like his daughter's old car with a blown up motor. He had his own toroidal motor that he had developed that could run from the energy in the charged particles in the air.
What?
This thing did like 15 miles an hour on a flat test track, running on air.
Charged particles in the air?
Yes.
So conceivably, as the
air.
technology improved, that 15 miles an hour could be a real speed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that same guy, I saw him once at a trade show, and I was exhibiting at the show as well. So I was there on setup day. I was bored out of my gourd. I was already set up in the Ford booth. So I'm just walking around, sort of sniffing around. I see this trippy scientist guy in his lab coat in this shitty little booth. It was like, 6 by 10 foot booth. And, at a show where people have like 200 by 60 foot booths. Mm-hmm. And he's got this odd little toroidal thing and then a bigger toroidal thing and literally like a chalkboard. So I'm like, dude, what's going on? So I started talking to him about it. He starts explaining the technology and what he was doing. And like the smaller one had 300 foot-pounds of torque. The larger one had 2,000. And he was looking to develop it for rail cars, for semis, for cars, like, and on and on and on. He's like, yeah, the biggest problem is stopping it once it gets going. Because the toroidal structure meant that the compression cycle from, 12 to 2 of that first cylinder was such that when the combustion occurred and it propelled the next piston into the next combustion cycle and kept going. So getting that power out of a central crank was a challenge, and then how to stop the damn thing was like the bigger challenge. But they'd run on like horse piss, ionic charged particles, diesel, gas. Like they didn't even need spark plugs. So I'm like blown away by this. I go back the next day. Poof. Where'd he go? Booth's gone, empty, done. And I had the guy's info and I tried to reach out to him. Website gone. A website I'd looked at the night before, gone. Got gobbled up. 5 years later, I see him again at another trade show with another kick-ass design. And man, was he a bitter man. He's like, yeah, never again. Because they bought it and they shelved it. I'm never selling anything again. Fuck them. I'm licensing to specific channels of applications, and that's it. His new product.
So what do you think happened if you're a conspiracy theorist? Do you think someone bought him out and just
I'm
wanted
a small independent business owner realist in that, hell yes, someone didn't like that, and they shelved that shit.
So they bought it and then just shelved it.
Yep.
One thing, my wife is part of like it's called a mommy group. So it's like a connection of online of all these mommies and on like all over LA. And what they do is people will post shit they need. So like one of the moms just had a kid, they don't have any wet wipes. And so then all the other moms will be like, oh, we've got wet wipes. And then right now they're just leaving them on the door.
Oh, that's
so people come
nice.
and get them. So it's like, I think the community thing is exactly right.
Yeah.
But also people have to maybe transcend money for a second and figure out ways to set up in their community, like, what do you need? What do I have? And then start some form of like trade or just giving people, there was someone who set up a toilet paper exchange in LA where he was just like, if you have extra toilet paper, bring it. And then he had toilet paper and he was just giving it out to people who are, I think that's the sort of thing we're going to have to start doing if we can.
Yeah.
It's like right now there's old people who they can't do shit, man.
They can't do anything. They're terrified.
They can't even get online.
If you know them, you got to help them. And this is, this is a weird time for us, but it's a time for us to reset. It's not good. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying we can get a positive out of this.
Yeah.
The people that make it through, we can get a positive out of this. And the positive is community is important. It's really important. And it seemed like it wasn't important because it seemed like we had everything set up so you didn't have to engage with people. It's not the right way to do it. It's not good for anybody.
No.
That kind of life is not good. And the detachment that we have, I mean, that's why do you think people have road rage on the highway? When they're locked in their little box,
right,
separated from people in a way that they wouldn't have it in person.
Yeah.
If it was just, it's only a thin piece of metal and glass separating you from these people.
Yeah.
But there's the other added factor of the heightened senses because you're driving fast. You realize you might have to make quick movements. So dumb things people do are elevated.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
even more dumb.
Yeah.
But it's also that you're detached. You're in these boxes.
Right. It's like a weird dream.
We've done weird shit to each other.
Yeah.
Because of that.
We're all gummed up in that way. It's like a fungus that grew on the circuitry of society and started, or it's like, when they talk about the dolphins and the whales being fucked up by the high-tech sonar they're using and washing up on the beach because the sonar is messing up their ability to communicate with each other. It's like there's this kind of technological sonar that has completely made us disconnected from the earth, essentially. Like our earth connection has been replaced by a technological connection. Now, technology comes from the earth, but we're talking about a secondary thing compared to, your feet touching the ground, being around another human and like recognizing them as having exactly the same thing you have, which is they want to be happy. Feeling the connection between people when you're with someone. I don't know if you've ever done that, but just like the next time you're around anybody that you're like buying shit from or that normally just kind of go by, feel that connect. You can feel it. There's an energetic connection that you can feel there that's easy to overlook.
Hell Week is another good example. It starts Sunday in the evening and ends Friday in the afternoon, and you get about 2 hours of sleep on Wednesday. That's it. It's horrendous to go through, and it's pretty entertaining as an instructor because you can just totally fuck with the students because they're off their rocker by Tuesday afternoon. But almost all of the attrition occurs from Sunday night until I'd say Tuesday morning. And beyond that, you're probably going to make it through because you've invested so much. But the advice that I was given when I went through was don't look at Hell Week as a 5-day pipeline. Just make it to your next meal. They have to feed you every 6 hours. So if I can stack 6 hours on 6 hours on 6 hours and just focus on getting to the next meal, doesn't matter how much I'm in pain, doesn't matter how cold I am. If I can just get to the next meal, I'll get a reprieve, a mental reset, and I can continue on. That in combination with some, the mental toughness is how you approach and set your goals, and then resilience. And my definition of resilience would be the ability to get bent and come back stronger than you were before. And the way you do that is by bending yourself as often as possible, which you do all the time by running sprints, or you know what I mean? You're doing that stuff. You're mentally tough because of that. And if you can apply that resilience to setting and approaching your goals from digestible perspectives, you can accomplish an insane amount. So that's really it's a physical test, but we're just testing the mind. Can the individual ignore the big and focus on the small? Can you do the step that you need to do and not get overwhelmed, regardless if you're tired, exhausted, hungry, cold? That's really all it is. It's not a complex training program. There's the ocean, there's the beach, there's some telephone poles, there's some boats, and then later on we introduce scuba gear, and towards the tail end of it, some demolition and pistol and rifle.